with today's Tuesday teaching tip. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the FAFSA. FAFSA is a word that one is difficult to pronounce and two is greatly feared amongst people getting ready to apply for college. It can create a lot of anxiety, just not understanding what it is. So I'm going to break that down, just the meat and potatoes of what the FAFSA is today, because FAFSA opening day is October 1st, which is quickly approaching. So FAFSA, that stands for Free Application for Student Aid. Now, the most important thing to remember in that phrase is free. So this is something that is available to every student who is seeking any kind of higher education, whether it's community college, four-year university or college, tech and trade, vocational schools, all of which, if you want to apply for free money to help you acquire your chosen path, whether that's an associate's degree, a certification program, or a four-year bachelor's, you will want to take advantage of the FAFSA because it's an opportunity to be awarded or granted free money or work study opportunity locally, and in other words, statewide or federally. So I'm just going to give you a few tips to help you lessen the anxiety for FAFSA because it can be a little overwhelming, and especially for first-time applicants, it can be stressful. So here's a couple of tips that I would suggest in my experience that have been helpful. The first one would be to understand what the FAFSA is for. Like I just mentioned, it is for seeking aid federally, state, working together hand in hand, and then also your chosen institution will look at your FAFSA results or information, and they will use that for their own specific awards that are not necessarily tied to merit or grade or test, but just other endowments that their institution may offer and things like that. For the fall 2022, that FAFSA is about to open on October 1st. Now, that's important to know because the FAFSA monies are first come, first served. So the sooner you get your FAFSA filled out, then the sooner you will find out what kind of money you might have come your way. It opens October 1st, 2021 for the fall 2022 school year. There's 3 deadlines to consider. There's a state deadline, so for us that would be Texas. There's a federal deadline, and then there's individual institution deadlines, which you would have to seek out your chosen institutions that you're interested in to find out if they have a specific deadline. But for the state deadline, for the state of Texas, that is January of 2022. So even though it opens October 1st, you could wait until January, but then you could be potentially missing out on opportunities for waiting so long. The federal deadline is June of 2022. So you would be starting school in August, September of 22. You have until June of 2022 to complete your FAFSA. But again, the longer you wait, the more opportunities you're basically passing up because you're taking a long time to get your paperwork out. So tip number 1 for the FAFSA would be start early. First come, first serve. You want to make sure that you get your information out there and submitted so that you can be scanned for every opportunity that is available to you. For example, if you were to fill it out on October 1st, you would likely get your award letters from your different institutions by January, which is really nice because then you have a couple of months to decide, after looking at the numbers and breaking down what you can afford and what things are going to cost, to make your final decision on where you want to attend. Tip number 2 would be have your documents handy. For example, your student social security number you will need to have. You will need to have parent and student tax information. If your student has had a job before, you'll want that tax information. Bank statements, you'll need all of that information when filling out your FAFSA form. The third part of having your documents ready would be write down your username, your password, and your PIN number. The reason being, that's going to stick with you every year that you are applying for any kind of higher education free monies. So you're going to want to keep that information so that you're not constantly having to try and log in and say, forgot password. That can just be really tedious and inconvenient. So make sure those are simple things that everybody can do, and keep it on file in a safe place where you won't lose it. Tip number 3 would be only use the official FAFSA website. Again, it is a free application, so it should cost you nothing to fill it out. That website is www.fafsa.org, FAFSA.org. It's completely free. If you end up on a website somewhere and you're filling it out and it's going to charge you money to use it to submit a FAFSA form, you know immediately that that's a scam. You don't want to give them your information. You want to move away from that as quickly as possible. And then finally, the FAFSA can take quite some time to fill out. Don't let that scare you. You can save as you go. So let's say you sit down to fill out the FAFSA and you need to stop for whatever reason. Maybe you didn't have all the information that you needed, or you got a phone call, or it's time to make dinner, or whatever. You can just save as you go, and then you can come back to it and fill it out at a later date, which is really nice because then you don't have to go around starting from square one again, because again, time is of the essence. So October 1st, for those of you who are interested in seeking higher education of any kind, whether that's community college, four-year universities, or vocational tech trade school, October 1st, get your papers ready. If you have any questions about FAFSA or would like any more information or just help walking you through that process, feel free to drop me an email at kkennemer@homeschoolfeast.com. Thanks. Have a good day.